Gentlemen, let me tell you something that happens in my clinic more often than you might expect. A couple comes in, they've been together for years, sometimes decades. They genuinely care for each other. There's no crisis, no betrayal, no obvious fracture in the relationship, yet something has quietly shifted. The warmth is thinner. The closeness that once felt effortless now requires effort. And the man often has no idea what changed. I ask the woman carefully, privately, if there are things she wishes were different in their intimate life. Almost every time, the answer is yes. And almost every time, she has never said a word to him, not because she doesn't trust him, not because she doesn't love him, but because she doesn't know how to say it without hurting him, because subtle hints didn't land, because at some point, she made peace with the idea that this was just how it was going to be. Gentlemen, what she's protecting you from is also quietly creating distance between you. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and today, I want to share the 3 most common mistakes men make in the bedroom, mistakes that affect not just physical connection, but emotional closeness, dignity, and the overall health of your relationship. I'll explain why they happen biologically and exactly what to do differently. Before we go further, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. This is a community of men who genuinely want to show up better, and I'm grateful for every one of you. Now, let's get into it. Before we get to the 3 mistakes, let's dismantle something critical. Most men who make these mistakes are not careless. They're not selfish. They're genuinely trying. In fact, the men I work with are often loving, attentive, and confused about why something that should feel natural has become complicated. That confusion comes from a myth most of us absorb early: the belief that good intentions automatically produce good results in intimacy. They don't. Not because your intentions don't matter, but because intimacy, especially for women and in long-term relationships, is governed by factors good intentions alone cannot address. Biological timing. Her nervous system and arousal cycle operate differently than yours. Emotional safety. She needs to feel secure and valued before her body fully engages. Quality of presence. How you show up mentally and emotionally matters more than any physical skill. The men who make the greatest difference in their partner's intimate life are not the most experienced or confident. They are the most attuned, the most willing to understand rather than simply perform. And attunement is exactly what we're going to focus on today. Mistake number 1, skipping the most important part. If there's one mistake underlying almost every other intimacy challenge, it's this: men move too fast. Not because you don't care, because of biology. Here's what I mean. The male sexual response system is designed to arouse quickly. Arousal can peak in minutes. That's natural. But the female system operates on a different timeline. The gap between these 2 timelines, when unacknowledged, is where most disconnection happens. Biologically, for a woman to be fully ready for intimacy, comfortable, naturally lubricated, and neurologically present, she needs an arousal arc. This isn't just a few minutes in the bedroom. It often begins hours earlier in how her day went, how she felt attended to, how connected she felt emotionally. For many women over 50, this arc can take 30 to 45 minutes or more. It starts not with touch, but with emotional presence. Did she feel seen? Did her partner genuinely notice her today? Did she laugh, feel valued, or feel cherished as a person, not just a partner? When those moments are absent, her nervous system isn't ready. Her body may partially cooperate, but the full experience, the one where she's genuinely present and responsive, can't happen. Let me give you an example. A man in his early 60s, Robert, came to me confused. His wife said their intimacy felt mechanical, yet he was attentive, caring, and making an effort. When we walked through a typical evening, the problem became clear. Dinner, TV, straight to the bedroom. No transition, no meaningful conversation, no reassurance for her nervous system. The bedroom wasn't the problem. The hours before it were. I asked him to try something simple. For 2 weeks, ask your wife one genuine question every evening, not about logistics, but about her thoughts and feelings. Listen without an agenda. 3 weeks later, he returned amazed. She seemed different. She wasn't different. She was finally arriving because the arousal arc had been built. Practical takeaway. Start an hour earlier than you think you need to without physical touch. Connect, listen, and show attention. That is where intimacy begins. Mistake number 2, stopping communication during intimacy. The second mistake is quieter. Less obvious, but often more damaging. Stopping communication inside the moment. Most men, once a pattern is established, stop asking questions during intimacy. They rely on what worked in the past, not realizing that sensitivity, preferences, and comfort change over time, especially with hormonal shifts after 50. Biologically, a woman's body is not static. Hormonal changes, stress, sleep quality, and emotional state affect what feels good. What was pleasurable at 45 may feel very different at 55 or 60. Emotionally, silence communicates. I don't need to check in. I already know what to do. Even unintentionally, this can create distance and discomfort. Practically, the solution is simple. Stay genuinely curious. Ask warm, non-clinical questions. Is this feeling good? What would you like more of right now? How does this feel for you? I once worked with a woman in her late 50s who endured discomfort for over 2 years without saying a word. She said, "He seems so confident about what he's doing. I didn't want to hurt him." When men create space for honest feedback, the impact is immediate. Everything improves. Practical takeaway. Next time you're intimate, ask one open, warm question during the moment. Receive the answer fully. Adjust your approach. This curiosity transforms the connection. Mistake number 3, disappearing after intimacy. The third mistake is subtle but powerful, disappearing after the moment ends. After intimacy, men often move on phone, sleep, distractions. She's left physically close but emotionally alone. She may not say anything, but her nervous system registers it. Closeness ends with the physical act. Over time, this trains her brain to associate vulnerability with a sense of loneliness, reducing desire and emotional openness. Biologically, after intimacy, the female brain experiences an oxytocin surge, bonding, attachment, and a desire for reassurance. This peak happens right after the moment. Staying present during this window strengthens connection profoundly. Emotionally, your continued presence says, "This mattered to me." It's not about words, it's about showing attention, warmth, and acknowledgement. Practically, this could be 10 minutes of holding her hand, keeping physical closeness, and saying something genuine. "I'm glad we're here together. I love this moment with you. I noticed how amazing you are. I once had a couple together for 31 years. She said their intimacy improved dramatically when he simply stayed in the room afterward, holding her. Nothing changed physically. Everything changed emotionally. Takeaway: stay present for at least 10 minutes after intimacy. Your presence communicates care, attachment, and reassurance. Let's make this practical. This week for mistake number 1, start intimacy 1 hour earlier, emotionally. Connect, listen, and be present. For mistake number 2, ask one genuine, warm question during intimacy. Let her guide you. For mistake number 3, stay present 10 minutes afterward, holding her, speaking kindly, reinforcing closeness. If you recognize yourself in one of these mistakes, release any shame. Being here, willing to learn and grow, is courage. You didn't make these mistakes because you're a bad partner. You made them because no one clearly explained how intimacy works biologically and emotionally, and how crucial presence and attunement are over time. Gentlemen, intimacy is not fixed. It is shaped by awareness, curiosity, and consistent attention. Men in their 60s and beyond with the most connected, fulfilling relationships are not the youngest or most physically capable. They are present, curious, attentive. This is available to you. Starting tonight, start with one small, intentional action. Build it into your day-to-day life. If this video gave you a new perspective or motivation, hit like, share with a friend who needs this, and subscribe to stay up to date on clinically grounded men's health and relationship advice. Leave a comment telling me where you're watching from and which mistake you'll focus on first. I read every comment and genuinely mean it. This is Dr. Jocelyn, reminding you, the most connected version of your relationship is not behind you. It's built one present moment at a time. Go build it.